here to let you know that X-Men Days of Future Past is no perfect movie. So Days of Future Past takes place in a future where mutants are on the verge of extinction because they're being hunted down by the Sentinels, robots that are indestructible against mutants. So Wolverine is sent back in time to 1973 so that he, Professor X, Beast, and Magneto can stop Mystique from attempting to assassinate the Sentinels' creator, Bolivar Trask, played by Peter Dinklage. One of the strongest elements of Days of Future Past, in my opinion anyways, is the fact that these characters are given an arc that challenges themselves as people. For instance, Charles made the decision to sacrifice his powers so he could walk, and it's understandable as to why he did it. The majority of his friends have left him, his school has shut down, he has absolutely no other reason, in his opinion anyways, to keep going. And ironically, it's Wolverine of all people who has to be the one to mentor him. And he doesn't play nice to please Charles. He tells him the cold truth that he needs to swallow his pride and suck it up in order to help save mankind. And it's, once again, very fascinating to see him work off of Magneto, because in many respects, Magneto has betrayed Charles in every way, took away a ton of his friends, but Magneto points out that there were tons of mutants who died at the hands of Trask due to experimentation, and what did Charles do? Absolutely nothing. He just sat back and people died. So both sides, once again, are both even in terms of arguments, which is one of the best elements of the X-Men franchise. But the main center of Days of Future Past by far is Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, who I think improves immensely in terms of her performance, considering she's the one who practically holds mutankind's fate in her hands. She can either prevent the dystopian future through her assassination attempt, or her capture or death can lead to the Sentinels rising in terms of their abilities. And when Mystique sees how certain mutants died while being experimented when she steals certain photos and information from Trask, it's easy to see where Mystique believes that killing Trask could benefit mutant kind. And as Magneto has always predicted, humans have always been trying to eliminate mutants, and it also makes sense because, as Magneto says, you have absolutely every right to think that we're able to wipe you out, because we can. And it's very ironic, considering all the villain's fears are coming true in this movie. The action scenes in this movie have once again really stepped up from the previous movies. They're larger in scale, the choreography is just as good, and even though there's a large majority of CGI compared to the other movies at least, the effects are very well rendered and photorealistic in my opinion. It really does look like Magneto is lifting a baseball stadium with his mind. It really does look like Wolverine and many of the other X-Men in the present day are fighting these shape-shifting, like, robots. And of course, I gotta mention Quicksilver. The Quicksilver sequence in the Pentagon is easily one of my favorite scenes in a superhero movie ever. Evan Peters did in 15 minutes what Aaron Taylor Johnson couldn't do in 2 hours. That is really saying something. As far as minor problems, I feel like the present-day storyline doesn't have as much emotional weight as the 1973 storyline. There's still some gritty action, and the futuristic atmosphere is very dark and grim, but considering the movie revolves around the X-Men trying to prevent this future from happening, I feel like it's kind of important to give the futuristic side of the story as much importance. And no, I haven't seen the original Rogue cut, so I don't know if that added anything to the present or not. But either way, I would have liked to have seen more from the futuristic side of the story. The other complaint I have is that while Peter Dinklage does another great job as per usual, his character's motivation for wanting to create Sentinels and wipe out mutants, it really doesn't make any sense, and he's not as ruthless as the other villains like Magneto or Stryker, who used a lot of blunt force and persuasion in order to get what they want. And I get that, yeah, he's a dwarf, he can't exactly be as intimidating and that it's kind of unfair, but I don't know, I feel like he could have used some persuasion tactics like the other villains could. But either way, I'm probably not going to surprise anyone by saying that this is, so far anyways, my favorite entry in the X-Men franchise. I think this movie has the largest scale, some of the best performances from both the old cast and the new, and some of the best action scenes, and in my opinion, the franchise's strongest thematic elements. And for that reason, I'm going to give Days of Future Past a 4 out of 5. Guys, thank you so much for watching my X-Men reviews. Thank you so much for watching my reviews in general. Be sure to check out more at NoPerfectMovie.com. Be sure to like, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Take care.